We'll go to the second game, and look, a massive game for Leeds United here. It's West Ham. They travel to. We'll take a look at the betting that we have at matchbook.com. At the moment, you can back West Ham 2.46, Leeds 3.05. The draw is 3.65. Both teams to score, yes, is available at 1.71. The Asian handicap line is drawn up effectively, and Leeds are 2.12 with West Ham 1.81. And the goal line for this game is 2.5, shaded towards the over. So, look, Adrian, straight back to you on this one. We're recording this on Thursday before West Ham's second leg, the Conference League. Whatever way it goes and swings, there's going to be an emotional baggage from it. So how do you kind of incorporate that into your betting here?
Well, look, I think it's a good fixture for Leeds, isn't it? This is the one they have to win. They got no choice. They have to win this game. And let's be honest, under Big Sam, they're giving it a go, aren't they? I know that it was a bit false at Manchester City. It wasn't until the end, really, when the game felt like it was lost, that they really released the handbrake and went for it and looked pretty dangerous. They had their moments, didn't they, against Newcastle at home? Exciting game, 2 apiece. And I think this could be quite exciting as well. I mean, Leeds have scored in 11 successive games. So that part of their game, even with Bamford's missed goals, missed penalties, open goals, etc., they still seem to find ways of scoring, Leeds United. And I think they'll score in this game. Because they're up against the West Ham team that are safe. Like, I know that mathematically they probably aren't and whatnot, but the goal swing is too big. They're not going down, and they know they're not going down. And we saw that with a very, very sort of tame performance at Brentford, where really Brentford just toyed with them. And I think on the back of a European adventure, no matter which way it goes, they're just going to turn up for this one, West Ham. There'll be no pressure on them. And just have a little bit of fun with it. And I think that might make for a good game. So West Ham will play with no nerves, nothing to lose. We'll just maybe play a little bit more freely than we have done all season under David Moyes. And Leeds have to go for it. So I looked at both teams to score. It's a little bit short. So I was just leaning towards the over 2.5 goals. It has landed in 10 of the last 11 Leeds United matches, which is interesting. And for West Ham, who don't traditionally get involved in high-scoring games under David Moyes, well, across the last 7, 5 of those have gone over 2.5 as well. So it's almost as if towards the end of the season they're actually going for it a little bit more. West Ham taking a few more risks. So we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, Big Sam against Moisey. It's the clash of the old school gaffers. I did notice that Big Sam's got a bad record against Moyes. He's lost 16 of 28 matches against David Moyes' team. So that makes it maybe a trickier fixture for Leeds. Who knows? But I expect a decent game here. And Leeds have got a shot. I think they've got a shot at winning a game where I think both teams will score.
Okay, yeah, over 2.5 goals, currently 1.88. And Mark, you're landed on both teams to score here. And just looking at betting in general, Mark, when you're kind of deciding between an overs play and both teams to score, we spoke about it a little bit last week as well, Mark, but what sort of factors are you thinking of to maybe swing it one way or the other?
Price, more often than not. There's not normally a huge amount between the two, but I think in this particular match, I put it in at 173, both teams scoring in this game. It's gone down to 171 now, slightly less appealing. Suddenly the overs looks much more palatable, really, but I just think both teams are scoring a Leeds match at 173. It's almost a gimme bet, really. So you've got to weigh it all up, really. But yeah, it's probably gone a little bit too short now. And I've just had a very quick look at the rest of the market, and you're not going to get, you'll be lucky to get 1.7, I think, by Saturday. So perhaps going the overs is the best route, really. Completely agree with almost everything Adrian said, really. West Ham chucked it in last week at Brentford, 7 changes, clearly prioritising Europe, lost 2-0. As Thomas Frank said, should have been a lot more. They conceded 24 shots, managed just 4 themselves. 4 defeats in 5 now. The focus is clearly on winning that European title, winning a first trophy in 40 odd years or so. For West Ham, they have been pretty inconsistent anyhow all season. When they do tend to come to the party, has been at the London Stadium against their bottom 8 rivals. But with European distractions, the quick turnaround, the lack of motivation potentially, although this is their last home game of the season, I think, as well. So there is that to consider. Yeah, I couldn't be backing West Ham at 2.46, that's for sure. And I was very close to putting Leeds in plus a quarter at 181. It's hard to learn too much from just 2 games under Allardyce, but as Adrian suggested, there is still life left in this team. The atmosphere, the performance was very positive against Newcastle. I think Allardyce has recognised he's unable to sort of make them bomb-proof in just a couple of weeks, so he's almost embracing the chaos and the squad profile going on last week. Anyway, he made some brave selections, and I do kind of think his brash kind of style, his attitude, his confidence rubs off on the players, and they did concede 18 shots against Newcastle, but they had many chances of their own. Obviously, Bamford's at a bit of a low ebb, but Rodrigo looks as hungry and capable as ever. So I actually absolutely believe Leeds can score in this game. But what put me off back in Leeds with the quarter start is they have lost 13 of 18 away. They have taken just 2 points from a possible 21 lately. So it's difficult to really kind of hang your hat on them, regardless of what's going on at West Ham. And look, I've got the same stats as Adrian here about overs in the last 11 Leeds games. Those matches have averaged 4.36 goals. Their away matches have seen 61% hit. BTTS, they've managed only 5 clean sheets all season, just 1 on the road. But I do believe they've got the ability to tear up against a weary West Ham team potentially. So, yeah, overs is a worthy alternative to what I suggested. As we mentioned last week, we're now deep into the month of May, the penultimate weekend. This tends to be when the goals come to play. So should see a decent uplift this weekend.
Okay, yeah, given the prices as we touched on there, we're going to lock in the over 2.5 goals, 188 currently on matchbook.com, and do check out those prices, as Mark alluded to, around Saturday, Sunday, to see what sort of bet is. Maybe both teams to score, could go out to a backable price perhaps, and it is 1:30 that game, a little bit earlier than the usual 2 o'clock.